One of the things that the human mind is able to do that has allowed our ancestors to thrive and survive and eventually lead to us is that it's able to imagine the future. It's able to simulate, imagining what the future might be in order to be better able to predict it. You can imagine how this allowed our ancestors to better survive in the wild, being able to predict where food was, where potential threats could be. The issue, of course, is that if you start to live within that simulation, and if your simulations are used primarily to avoid danger, then a lot of one's life can be simply experiencing potential danger, potential threat, rather than experiencing reality, which is what currently exists within the present moment. So this simulation, this capacity of the mind to imagine the future was very beneficial. However, for many of us, this capacity of mind leads to unnecessary suffering. Sometimes we create plans. We try to organize our future, so our mind imagines it. Our mind creates a narrative of how the future could look like in order for us to be able to take actions in the present moment in order to lead to that future. There's nothing inherently evil about this. There's nothing inherently stressful about this. However, they are simply simulations, and they are not reality. In reality, sometimes, in fact, oftentimes, what we imagine happening, what we had planned on happening, doesn't happen. There's only so much of our lives that are within our own control. You plan an excursion, you try your best to be a good host, and you plan all the details, only to have people decide last minute or find themselves in circumstances last minute that prevent them from participating. It's really about managing expectation. The key here is to remember that the disappointment you feel, the anxiety you feel, the stress you feel, isn't because of what is happening in reality. It's not really because somebody wasn't able to fulfill a certain duty, partake in an action that you had desired. The true source of your dis-ease is you grasping, wanting that imagined future. Or you start to play another simulation in your mind, one in which things that you don't desire could happen to you. People judge you for the event not going as well as they would have wanted. People judging you for your failure. People thinking about you in a negative light. But notice, again, these are all simply simulations of the future. If you simply return your attention to your breath and center yourself in the present moment, you might realize that at this particular moment, in actual reality, you're usually just fine. that the distress, the disappointment, the anxiety isn't the result of current, real circumstances, but are the result of imagined narratives and stories that we run through in our minds about a future that may not turn out as what we had originally imagined. The key is to simply remember that that is not real. And the only thing that's ever real is what's occurring right now. And oftentimes what's occurring right now is perfectly fine. You're able to breathe. And with each breath, you can connect yourself to the constant flow of life. Experience yourself and your life in a way that brings about an experience of gratitude. You can instead decide to savor all the positive experiences that you are currently having in reality. Whether it's the air in the room, whether it's the soft cushion of your seat, whether it's the ability to use basic bodily functions, all of which do not necessarily need to happen and to exist, but right now they do for you. So instead of feeling disappointed, frustrated, anxious about something imaginary, a future, bring your attention back to real experiences of the present moment. And maybe over time, you become better, not at avoiding disappointment, but better at learning how to let them go.